Okay.
Usually no.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome this Friday afternoon. Thank you, commissioners, for being available to do the agenda review on late Friday afternoon. So appreciate that. And I know the manager is out today, but filling in is Tim Kaufman and Tanya Cole, assistant managers. So take it away.
Thank you. Nicole, you want to talk about the intro?
Good afternoon, everyone. For county announcements, I have the budget public hearing, which will be the same day, August 2nd at 6. I want to remind the public that District Court 18 will be closed on Friday, the August 4th. This is part of their software transition. Also a reminder that the Veterans Expo is on Saturday, the 5th, and we will show you guys a video that we put together recently about hiring a vet. That's all I have.
Okay.
We got one set of minutes and then we've got 3 proclamations to review. And then there are some appointments. Looks like we're switching some seats for Salem Township and then another appointment to the Aging and Physical Disabilities Commission Advisory Board as well. When we get into new business, we've got a real estate purchase agreement for property at 250 North Water. To get that process started, allow us to do some due diligence.
Right.
And then we've got a consideration of tax abatement. And Brent is here to talk to that if you've got any questions about it.
Brent, you just want to give a quick summary?
We expect on Tuesday that the city council will approve a letter of intent to issue industrial revenue bonds on the Air Capital flight line. And since this is in the unincorporated area of the county commission is given the right to approve that resolution. So that would be you would vote to approve the issuance of that letter of intent and those IRBs. It's basically a $60 million project to employ 150 people, $100,000 annual wages employed by Spirit. They will, the one thing that's unique about this is because of the size of their capital expenditure, this won't be a 5+5 abatement. It'll be a 10-year tax abatement. So the net effect is probably negligible, but it is, you'd be approving the 10-year abatement on the front end. It's got a 2-to-1 benefit to cost ratio. In the years after the abatement, 1.18 to 1 going in to the years in which the abatement is in effect. So it's kind of a routine deal, but we typically hear these when they're in those industrial districts outside the city. Valerie will be presenting.
Yeah. And this is has a timing issue is why. It's
Right.
kind of a last minute addition. We did get a briefing on that, I think, in an email.
Yes, so when the city approves these, the county commission has the right to hear it within 7 days after the next scheduled county commission meeting after the city approves it. So it's either next Wednesday or the following Wednesday would be the 7th day. So we're going ahead and do it. We have invited representatives from Spirit and the developer to be here. I haven't heard if they're going to be here or not, but they and counsel from Gilmore will also be here to answer any questions.
Any questions, commissioners? Nothing? Hey, thanks, Brent. Looks like a project that's a big one. Okay.
Next up, we've got Brent will do the quarterly financial report and we will wrap up the regular items with bid board. There's 3 items on bid board. Any questions about any of those?
Didn't we just have a quarterly report? Jim wanted me to ask that question. Okay. All right.
As we
So we'll
move
go to
into
consent.
consent, we've got 2 easement issues. And we've got a vacation of a plat Then we get into identifying folks as fence viewers. There's a fence dispute that MABCD has got jurisdiction over right now, and so you'll appoint folks to manage that process. Item P is an amendment with KDADS, between KDADS and the CDDO. They issued some additional funding very late in their fiscal year. They have asked us to rebate that. We didn't expend it because it came so late. We are rebating that back to them, and then they will reallocate that money back out within the next quarter or so. So it's a bookkeeping process more than anything else right now. Item Q is the county's portion of the HUD, the large community HUD response. It's about $900,000 of the $1.1 million. So that is a continuation of the work that we've been doing. It represents about 112 vouchers as part of the Shelter Plus Care program. Item R is the contract with USD 259 for the mental health intervention program, about $900,000. Next week, you will see a number of other school district contracts just like this, but for much smaller amounts.
I'm just curious, the source of funding for that program, is that grant funded or is that probably?
It is grant funded.
Thanks.
I think
These are state funds.
federal also. Is it federal money?
It's state funds.
State, okay.
Item S is an interfund transfer. It's creating the fund that we need that was approved by the legislature to allow us to spend that opioid settlement money. And that's the same as item R as well, R and S, or I'm sorry, S and T allow us to do that. And then we're into the routine stuff, and there'll be time for budget discussion and executive session. No, didn't say what you said.
Another question.
Yes.
Another question.
Yeah, I think the things that are politically pretty hot topics in the community, mental health and substance abuse. I wish those things were not on the consent agenda. I wish they were on regular agenda so we could have discussions and see what's going on. The public could have a better understanding what's happening in the community, and maybe some performance measures could be presented. I just think it's a lost opportunity, even though I don't think these are contentious issues. I anticipate you'll see a 5-0 vote, I assume. I think that just in terms of public knowledge, I wish these things were on regular agenda.
I might add to that. The MHIT teams from ComCare are quite a program that a lot of people don't know are happening in our schools. It would be nice to put that on where somewhere, or at least we can pull it and have it, make somebody give a discussion of sort. These MHIT teams are phenomenal. We can pull it internally. Yes.
I'll have somebody.
And
in
if
the room.
you or someone can explain what those MHIT, a lot of people don't know what we're doing in our schools. And I think what ComCare does is an incredible resource.
Or S&T, I think potentially we'd like to see people can speak to those potentially at the meeting, if it's okay.
Sure. Okay.
Well, and commissioners, if I can, I apologize. And I apologize for not being on camera, but I'm theoretically on vacation and I'm not dressed appropriately for this. So for those items, for the 2 opioid items, this is really just a technical type of thing. We're happy to talk about it, but you all had already authorized the creation of the fund. What we're doing is taking the opioid settlement money that has not been allocated, and we are moving it to the new fund, and we're establishing a bit of budget authority for this year. So I'm more than happy to talk about it, but in terms of performance measures or anything like that, I'm not sure that we would have something report out to you on with that regard. So if that's okay, I'll be happy to talk about it.
And more, is this also a result of the legislation we passed last year?
It is, but this is actually even more grand. So this is more grandiose than the MABCD or equipment reserve funds. This is something that came about because those funds were actually received, but it was a part of that legislation, yes, that we pushed.
Well, I am actually more interested in R&T anyway. So again, if you wanted to take us off that idea list, that might
Yeah.
be.
And Lindsay, what you just said there, I think would be good to repeat. That would be
Okay.
a quick. Okay.
Okay, we'll be happy to do that.
this basically sounds like it's just the next important step before just a step along the path of this opioid funding. Okay.
Exactly. Any other questions about the regular agenda? There is a fire agenda. There are two items of interest. One's minutes, and then the other would be the budget discussion.
Anything else? Anybody? Commissioners, anything? All right, well, have a good weekend and we'll see everybody Monday. Okay, all right, thank you.